a partially valid, a half-truth, if you will, is
Yeah.
being pushed.
I can't wait to find out all sorts of new and exciting things I didn't know about myself.
So you just hate Jews, bro?
Yeah, you're
It's
just an anti-Semite. Congratulations.
You're
Go
not
join.
What would you say?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
That just we are the only society on Earth who has the obligation to self-destruct, to blame ourselves for every problem that has ever existed, and we just think of ourselves as the worst human beings who are responsible for every bad.
How many Muslims are trying to stop Boko Haram? How many Muslims were confronting ISIS? How many Muslims, the extremists always win. So the peaceful majority, which I know many, they're irrelevant.
Good morning, misfits. All right. I'm still under the weather, but we're here. We're here. No days off. Except for yesterday with my real job. I did not go in yesterday. I was like, I was gonna. I was like, no. Mm-mm. I took a whole bunch of vitamins. All the vitamins. There were so many vitamins. I'm gonna try and do the Candace Owens thing and just mispronounce words, right? Vitamins. So, all right, how we doing? It is our first to a Thursday. Just say no to RINOs. Just say no. If you see a RINO, if you see somebody voting with the squad, if you see somebody voting against the Second Amendment, it's like, look, Dan Bongino has this great way of putting it. It's ones and zeros, right? Stop using your heart and your feelings to decide who is or isn't a good representative, right? Just be robotic, right? How do they vote? Do they vote the way I want them to vote? Are they a representative in our representative government? Because if they are not, kick them to the curb. It's not that hard to figure out, guys. You don't know these people, right? You don't. I mean, I know Brandon. We're going to talk about Brandon Herrera. I know him, right? Quote, I met him once, but I have his phone number. We know each other. If he didn't vote the way I wanted, I would still tell you to do the same thing. It's all about ones and zeros. Are these people plus ones, or are they zeros, or are they negative ones? How are they taking care of you? Do they have your interest at heart, or do they have special interests at heart? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you guys know the drill by now. Check out that new banner up top on my X profile. Had producer Eli make that for me. Looks great. We got the daily breakdown here, 9 a.m. on Rumble, LFA TV. We are about to wrap up our first week in the new 9 a.m. spot. Want to say thank you to everybody who's stuck around. I didn't know how this was going to go, you know, like I didn't. It's always going to be, you know, rough transitioning into a new role, because you guys, there was a solid audience for Jeremy in the morning, and then obviously I come in here like, you know, just king shit, just like, ooh, look at me, I can do this too. But I see that we've retained quite a few of you, so I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being here. And if you guys have been watching this week, this is how we do the daily breakdown, okay? The daily breakdown goes like this. Where is it? It goes like this, if I can figure out how to do it. There we go. What we do is, oh, thank you, Carla. Carla in the chat, love your show. Well, I love you now. You're my favorite now. Carla, guess what? You're the favorite out of all the people here. Here's the daily breakdown. I go in and I type in the word news. That's it. 4 simple letters. NEWS. I don't pick the content the night before. I don't go, what's going to get you guys riled up, right? We have a little segment at the end of the show where we talk about a theme. Today's theme is 2A Thursday. You guys you're going to want to be here tomorrow, by the way. All right, we'll go full screen for this one, because I've been contemplating how I was going to do this. Fan Mail Friday. The fan is facetious, right? We're not really going to be reading fan mail. We're going to be reading hate mail, right? We're going to be putting the fan in quotes. So Fan Mail Friday is actually Hate Mail Friday. But fan begins with F, and I have OCD, so shut up. So I am not going to do what I have been doing, which is just going right to my inbox live, because I don't want to subject you to that. This is a new audience. This is a family-friendly audience. We were on TMP Uncensored. We didn't care about anything, but we're gonna try to protect you from the. Look, guys, if you want, I'll send you my inbox. Like, if you really want to see it, I don't recommend it. It's pretty bad. Like, when I say, you can go watch some of the old shows. You can go over to my old channel and you can watch some of the old Hate Mail Thursday shows. These people say the worst things to me, and they do it on a daily basis. It doesn't bother me. I'm just stating a fact. They say horrible things. My mom passed away last year. My dad passed away a few years before that. My brother passed away 8 weeks after my dad. I have had some loss, right? These people will send me pictures of them with very, just... It's bad. I've been told it's bad. It doesn't bother me. I'm just like, whatever, dude. I don't really care, because I don't view the people that are saying mean things as people. They're like Pokemon. I just got to collect them all. I just collect haters. Anyway, let's move on. But tomorrow should be very interesting. What I'll do is I will pre-pick 5 hate mails that I will either black out the words, or I will pick ones that aren't graphic. But pretty much the worst things that you can say on the internet get said to me on a daily basis. I have a knack for ticking people off. I'm very good at it. There are 2 things that I'm exceptional at, right? It's building houses and pissing people off. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to the news. Enough about me, right? I don't know if you guys noticed, I got the new format here. We got the Instagram here. We got the X here. My beacons is over there. We got Daily Breakdown written at the top. It's getting a lot more professional up in here. We've learned to internet. But for the Daily Breakdown today, top story. We did this 2 days in a row, BBC. We did this 2 days in a row. Why do they keep pushing the same story at me? Are there any new stories? Are we going to have to use the top bar here? We're probably going to have to use the top bar. Yeah, because this one was from yesterday too. Is the internet broken? In New York Times, we don't do New York Times, because watch what happens when you click New York Times. It's going to tell me to pay them money. I'm not doing that. Oh, wait, it didn't. Oh, okay. Well, we'll start with this one then. Usually something pops up and it's like, give me money. I'm like, no. No, absolutely not. I'm not giving my money to New York Times. That's not happening. Somebody in the chat, BBC, big British cucks. BBC, you can have a lot of fun with BBC. I've already said that we should change LFA to Let's Fight Allah. But anyway, here is the headline from the New York Times. For some reason, didn't ask me to pay today. U.S. opens military action in Ecuador against, quote, terrorist organizations. You don't have to put that in quotes. This is why I hate the New York Times. This is why I hate fake news media. You do not have to put terrorist organizations in quotes. You're already, whatever the jerk off that wrote this, Eric Schmidt and Louis Ferry Senderny, you two suck already. I'm already unimpressed. U.S. military opens action in Ecuador against, quote, terrorist organizations. You mean narco-terrorist organizations? You mean actual terrorist organizations? You mean the terrorist organizations? Getter and Twitter X get updated news too. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the chat, guys. I am really out of it. Like, my brain not working. So if this show is extra ADD today, don't worry about it. You just sit there and you have a good time anyway. All right? A bad time in the saddle is still a good time, if you know what I mean. All right. U.S. Special Forces and soldiers are advising and supporting Ecuadorian commandos on raids across the country against suspected drug shipment facilities and other drug-related sites. So, narco-terrorists. You don't have to put this in quotes. This is not something you need to quote. You don't need to douchily figure out how to make text sarcastic. All right, let's keep reading. Let's read this story. The United States and Ecuador have launched a joint military operation against, again with the frickin' quotes. You don't need the quotes. This is fake news. Guys, you remember I told you on the first episode on Monday, I said I was going to explain to you why you should hate the media more. These are the things that my autistic brain catches that yours doesn't. When you just read the news, you just shrug this off and you go, whatever, no big deal. No, they did this shit on purpose. They did it on purpose, all right? That wasn't a really bad word, but...
I don't know why you got to do it in front of the kid with the elephant.
All right, they're doing this on purpose. What appeared to be a major expansion of the U.S. military's unilateral strikes. Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna harp on it. They're doing this on purpose because you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to brainwash you and indoctrinate you because they want you to think of a narco-terrorist organization as not a real terrorist organization, subliminally. So when you read this over and over again, and they're just planting stupid seeds in your head. They're just pushing them in there, and they're like, quote, terrorist organization. And then you go out and you go, they're not really terrorists. No, they are. They're really terrorist organizations. I told you guys recently about my brother, right? My brother died of a fentanyl overdose. All right, don't say sorry. He was kind of a piece of crap. But look, here's the deal. He's dead because terrorists killed him. He's also dead because he made a bunch of bad decisions. But two things can be true at the same time. Okay? These are terrorist organizations. Drugs, fentanyl has killed over 100,000 Americans yearly. It's way down right now, thanks Trump. But they've killed more people than real terrorists. They're worse. They're worse. They're 100% worse. And any dumb libertarians that are in the comments like, those people made choices. I'm not doing the thing where liberals blame the gun, right? I'm not doing that. That's not the same thing. What I'm saying is, my brother, 10 years ago, hurt his back. He got like a cyst in his back. It was bad. And he was bedridden, and they gave him oxys. And then he went from oxys to getting hooked on oxys, and then he went to heroin, and then he went to fentanyl. And it's a business model where these people are like, the difference between a gun and a drug is a drug will never save your life in a self-defense manner. And we're going to talk about that today with 2A Thursday. We're going to compare the DGUs to the whatever, you know what I mean. We're going to compare the defensive self-defense versus the homicides, and you're going to see that guns have a net positive versus drugs that only have a net negative. That's the big difference. Look, I've done drugs before. Like I lived in Florida. All right. I just don't, I'm not a scumbag now. Right. Like, and even let's say hypothetically, I was still like, partying, right? Hypothetically, I'd still want them banned. I'd be like, you know what? Take these away from me, please. Take them away from me. I wouldn't be like, oh, you know what? We should make all of them legal. Yeah, once you're on the phone with your mother crying because she just found your dead blue brother on the floor, let me know if you think that they're terrorist organizations or not. Jesus. All right. Anyway, sorry, I went ADD there. We went ADD. We're going to rein it back in because I know that somebody's listening on audio and they're like, was he just reading something and did he just go crazy into a tangent? Yes, that's what we do here. Welcome to the show. We're going to do it more and more and more. It's going to be fun. All right? Back to the story. The U.S. Special Forces and soldiers are advising and supporting raids. Americans are not believed to be participating in the actual raids, but they're helping the troops. 30-second video released by the Southern Command. A helicopter is seen taking off in the early morning. Let's watch that. This is a helicopter flying through the air, unclassified, and looks like they're filming things. Oh, look at all them running. Look at them running. All right, cool. So that looks like U.S. Special Forces supporting Ecuadorian law enforcement to arrest narco-terrorists. It just really did bug me that they put that shit in quotes. I'm sorry. I know I went on like a 7 or 8 minute rant because of it, but I know they did that on purpose. I know that. They definitely did that on purpose. Oh, fucking domestic to quote. That's how I read it. Dick. All right. All right. Someone has a crush on Zach. Somebody's got a crush on me? Ooh. In the chat? Do they? Oh, it's a hater. Oh, look at you. You're so cute. Look at you. Got a little hater in the chat. You little adorable little thing there. I'll pick you up and put you in my pocket. Spin 117. Spin 117 in the chat is spurging out. Go pinch his cheeks, somebody. Go pinch his cheeks. Says, misfisted, Patriot, Israel's goodest guy. You realize, like, look, guys, the NPC activity. It's the NPC activity. You guys all say the same thing. It's a different username with the same thing. You're just like the left. You're NPCs. You're NPCs. You're like, you act like I have not heard this already. Like, it's like, I'm not going to read that and be like, oh, like, oh, mean words. I just read mean words. You guys know that I just told you about all that dead shit, right? Like, this is nothing. This is nothing. I've had too hard of a life to get triggered by your text. Let's get to the next story. Right. Dem senator's stunt goes sideways after GOP lawmaker torches him at immigration hearing. All right, what's this about? Oh, wait. Is this a video? This is 7 minutes. I don't know. We're not going to watch all 7 minutes. Let's see if anything spicy happens in the first 30 seconds.
Madam Secretary, for a year, you maintained that no U.S. citizens have been arrested or detained by ICE.
This is fitting. Blumenthal talking to Kristi Noem at a hearing, 7 minutes long. We're not going to watch all that. Let's just read the story instead. After Dick attempted to embarrass Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem by asking a handful of legal immigrants arrested by ICE to stand up during a Capitol Hill hearing. This is like, they got the Jeffrey Epstein victims. Now they have, like, quote, legal immigrants arrested by ICE. They're literally using people as props. It's hilarious. Okay. Senator Eric Schmidt sarcastically requested guys, if you're listening on audio, get ready for a banger. I read ahead and I stopped because it was so good. Let's go back. Dick Durbin asked a handful of legal immigrants arrested by ICE to stand up, and then Senator Eric Schmidt sarcastically requested all the Americans killed by illegal immigrants to stand up before nothing that they can't because their lives have been snuffed out. That is a banger. I think we're going to have to go find that moment right now. Oh, let's see if we can find this.
CBP after American citizens have been.
Okay.
These three individuals, Madam Secretary, were arrested by your agency, Leonardo.
So
Garcia
three. We have
Venegas,
3 people
Javier
that stood up.
Ramirez, and Miramar Martinez.
So they found 3
You know
immigrants
what your
that were
agents did
that were
to
arrested. Okay,
Leo Venegas?
mistakes happen.
I'll tell you. On May 21 of last year, without a warrant, June 12th, they U.S.
All right, come on,
citizens,
sit.
U.S. citizens record, and they are Ramirez.
Come on.
Police slammed. Targeting someone is wrong.
It's probably towards the end. Sorry, guys. If you're listening on audio, I gotta find this because it's gonna be hilarious. Oh yeah, here we go.
Sir, I don't know the situation or the case. I'll look into it to ensure that
So
all
here comes.
procedures are
I think
followed.
that this is where the bangers.
Since we're having folks stand up, I would have Lake and Riley stand up. I would have Kayla Hamilton stand up. I would have Jocelyn Ngari stand up. I would have Rachel Morin stand up. I would have the beautiful sons and daughters who were murdered by illegal immigrants stand up, but they can't because they're dead.
Oh,
They were murdered by illegal And I think it's important to set
okay.
the stage.
You guys heard? Did you guys hear the applause? I got a new thing. It's only good for one day. I'm sending it back. Turn it up. Okay, sorry guys. Turn up the volume on the vids. That's max volume. Look. Well, that was max volume for the video, but no big deal. If you guys couldn't hear that, sorry. I couldn't. It sounded fine to me, but he like I just explained, Blumenthal tried to pull that stunt, and then Senator Schmidt was like, I'd like to have Lake and Riley stand up. I'd like to have Jocelyn Ngari stand up. I'd like to have all these people stand up, but they can't because they're dead. They were killed by an illegal immigrant. That was a banger moment right there. I want to find that. I want to clip that. I want to put that on the internet, and I want to watch it over and over and over again. I want it to hug me. I want it to wrap around me and just make me feel good. Zach buys guns to protect. This guy's still smirking out, dude. The guy in the comments is still really upset. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll tuck you in later when I'm done with your mom. All right. Next up. Pam Bondi subpoenaed by U.S. House in Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Can we get the... Hold on, guys.
Max, can you earmuff it for me?
Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? Y'all know where I'm going with this? You know what the earmuffs is for? If you guys haven't watched the first 4 shows, we say earmuffs when I'm about to drop an F-bomb, right? And here it is. Can we get the fuck over this, please? Can we get the fuck over it? Guys, I have covered this ad nauseum, right? It is so dumb. It's so dumb. It's not even... Look, there are people that are like, I don't want to sound like I'm covering for pedophiles. I don't care if you guys think I'm not. But even if you think I do, I don't care. I don't care. Take that NPC talking point and shove it up your poop hole, all right? Obviously, everybody wants pedophiles arrested. Everybody wants justice. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants that. You'd be crazy not to. The Epstein files, though, the files, they are... Hold on. Try it again.
Max, can you earmuff it for me?
They are fucking useless, all right? The only thing that they do is drive a wedge with the right and hurt Trump. Just get over it. And look, this is proof. This is proof. The Epstein files never hurt another administration, except for the one who released them. You guys think that 100% of Democrats voted to release something that would hurt Democrats? Guys, they're dumb. They're not that dumb. They did this on purpose, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of useful idiots letting stupid sociopaths emotionally manipulate them to weaponize a dead pedophile from 2 decades ago against Donald Trump to hijack and handicap this administration. Get over it. Just get over it. Just move on, honestly. Like, I know. And I'm talking to the people that are still the I really want to see. No. You don't want to see. You don't need to see. It's over. They have figured out how to work a paper shredder over the past 20 years. I promise. There's nothing in there, right? There might be some embarrassing information. You guys are scraping the bottom of the barrel for a maybe we might get somebody fired. It's not worth the time and resources. If you care about pedophiles, you close the border. If you care about pedophiles, you pass the SAVE Act. If you care about sex trafficking, I hope nobody cares about pedophiles. But if you care about sex trafficking victims, you close the border. If you care about sex trafficking victims, you pass the SAVE Act. If you care about sex trafficking victims, you win big in the midterms. Finish Trump's agenda, and you get this shit done. This Epstein thing, it's a shiny object, and it's so stupid that people can't see it. I saw it early. I got attacked early. Every time I get attacked, about a month or two later, people are like, you know what? You were actually right about that. It's Russiagate 2.0. It's nothing. It sounds horrible to say because it's like, you want them to get away with it? No, I don't want them to get away with it. Epstein's dead. Maxwell's in jail. And everyone else either got away with it and we'll get them later. Or, I mean, guys, by the way, not for nothing, nobody gets away with it. Right? I don't know if you guys don't realize just because I use some foul language, I am a Christian. I am a very devout Christian, all right? Like, I talk to Jesus every day, all right? And, guys, they're going to get theirs. If judgment is not taken on you in this life, they'll spend an eternity in hell. So take comfort in that. Let's read this stupid story anyway. So stupid. So stupid that people fell, because a bunch of people on the right were like pushing this. You got Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna like, oh, let's circle jerk on camera in front of fake news media and let's all go do our interviews and nobody will be the wiser. Stupid. All right. Pam Bondi subpoenaed by the House in Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Republicans joined Democrats to vote 24-19. Yeah, you shouldn't have. Republicans, you shouldn't have. You are falling for a psyop. This is these people in the yellow here, the word Republicans. This is who I'm talking about. You should never let these people, Democrats, play you. They are too dumb. Approve motion to compel U.S. Attorney General to testify. 5 Republicans on the House Oversight Committee joined with Democrats to subpoena the Attorney General as part of it. And by the way, guys, I'm not a fan of Pam Bondi, so don't take this as me supporting Pam Bondi, because I fucking don't. She's done some good things lately, but overall, I think her performance is abysmal. This isn't me sipping out for the Trump administration. This is me just being objective and giving objective facts. Right? I told you I'll never lie to you. The House Oversight Committee voted 24-19 to approve a motion introduced by Republican Representative Nancy Mace. Oh, yeah. Dumb bitch. Sorry. Earmuffs. I know that's not the F word, but...
I don't know why you got to do it in front of the kid with the effing.
All right. Nancy Mace. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are we doing this? We're leading up to the midterms and friendly fire? That's the goal of Congress? Is that representative government? What is Nancy Mace doing for her own people? What is she doing for people in her own district? She's playing Nancy Drew instead of being Nancy Mace. So stupid. This wasn't even introduced by a Democrat, you stupid jerk. Ugh. In addition to Mace, Republican Representative Tim Burchett, Lauren Boebert, Michael Cloud, and Scott Perry. Yay! Let's handicap this administration. These stupid fucks. Look, I'm not saying don't have integrity. I'm not saying don't, try to do the right thing. But, dude, notice the signs, man. play this game of politics. It's dirty. It's dirty. You want to be dirty. You want savage people in there, man. You know what? I hated Nancy Pelosi, but I respected the shit out of her. She was savage. She would get her caucus in order. She'd crack the whip and she'd be like, "You're all voting on this shit." And they'd be like, "Yes, ma'am." All right. Anyway, we'll see what happens with this, but most likely nothing. It's a nothing story. It's nothing's gonna happen. It's just a bunch of bullshit that they do in Washington. Let's talk and let's yell at each other, and then nothing changes. Let's do that. It's a symbolic hearing by a bunch of virtue signaling people who want to win re-election. So go do your stupid thing. But every minute, the only reason that I'm upset is every minute Pam Bondi is not in her office doing her job, that could be a sex trafficker, a pedophile, an illegal immigrant, a murderer, a drug dealer who's not being arrested. I'm not saying that she goes out and arrests people. I'm saying I want everybody doing their job. You realize that the Epstein files pulled, I think it was something like 500 attorneys off of their regular duties for months and months and months, right? Like literally like 500 attorneys working like full time, rummaging through a document that we could have easily just taken our time with. There really was no rush. The only rush was politics, right? You could have had like, I don't know, a third of those attorneys, like let's say like 150. You could have got 150 attorneys instead. Put the other 350 out there, working for the federal government, prosecuting murderers, rapists, illegal immigrants. You could have done that. And you could have had the 150 attorneys just, going through like, okay, this is important. This isn't. This is. And then you could have had a monthly release of the Epstein files. You could have had a monthly release over the course of 4 years. Would have been fine. But no. Thomas Massie needs to win re-election, so he's got to weaponize it. Wish you people wouldn't fall for. Not you people. Not the people in my chat. I wish some people would not fall for this shit. Is all I'm saying. Oh, man. Working sick sucks. I am not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. And I'm a baby. I'm just like every other man. I'm like every other guy. Whenever guys are sick, we're pansies. I'm like, oh, no. I want to go lie down. I really do. I want to go lie down. But I'm not gonna. I'm here for you. I'm here for you guys. All right. So, next story is last story before we do to a Thursday, is from The Guardian. It looks like it's about this freaking pansy, Keir Starmer. Hanging on to Trump's latest words is not the special relationship, Starmer tells MPs. Okay. All right, so Prime Minister says getting British nationals to safety is his priority. Not really. His priority seems to be illegal immigrants, but okay. Let's just read this article because that headline is confusing to me. I don't know. Maybe it's my foggy brain, but join the Corps, Zach, and your pansy ass will disappear. Don't listen, guys. The greatest superpower that you could have, Dan Bongino says this, is the ability to command attention. The fact that there are so many haters in this chat means this show is awesome. I told you guys, just tickle them. Tickle their belly. Just tickle their belly like a puppy. All right? Tell them to roll over and shit. Don't worry about it. The haters, we love the haters in the chats. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna read this article because I don't like the headline's really confusing. Here's the headline: Hanging on to Trump's latest words is not the special relationship. Keir Starmer told MPs that, quote, hanging on to President Trump's latest words is not the special relationship after criticism of his stance on the Iran conflict. Okay, I still don't understand that. A day after Donald Trump dismissed Starmer as not Winston Churchill. That's only funny because I can picture Trump saying it. Angry that the U.S. was denied use of British bases for initial strikes, Prime Minister's handling of the UK response to the conflict came under attack by Kemi Badenoch, the opposition leader, at the Prime Minister's questions. During a clamorous and sometimes bad-tempered PMQs. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what this stupid system in Britain is. So this is just these are a bunch of acronyms that I have no idea. MP, PMQ, no idea. UK, I know what that stands for, United Kingdom. I'm very proudly ignorant about other countries' political systems and structures, right? I'm not saying I'm ignorant about what's going on in other countries. I'm saying I don't care how your stupid, silly government works. I don't care. Don't even know how Israel's works. Really don't. Right? Not my business. I care about what happens, but I don't care about how they talk about it and how they vote about it. Don't give a shit. I know how the constitutional republic of this country works. That's all I need. I need to know how my government works because my government are the only people that I can tell what to do. Right? Does that make sense, everybody? Like, you should know what's going on in other countries, but you shouldn't really give a shit how other countries really work. Like the parliamentary system, I'm like, I don't really get it. I don't really care. During a clamorous and... Did I take something wrong? Oh, did I do something? Did I misunderstand somebody in the chat? If I did, I was not hating at all. I apologize, guys. It's a really weird day. I'm brain fog, sick. My bad. I apologize if I mistook somebody for a hater. We had haters in here. I assumed it was another hater because I skimmed quickly. I'm trying to read Daily Breakdown News and the chat and not cry because I feel like what does Sean say? Sugar honey iced tea. All right. So my bad. My bad. I will always apologize when I am wrong. If I am ever wrong, you get an apology. But anyway, I don't even know if you guys can see how awful I feel. Like, how do I look on camera? Do I look good? Because I feel like I'm dying. All right. Starmer was obvious. Starmer said it was obvious. Hold on. Starmer said it was, quote, obviously an extremely serious situation, and the, quote, whole country is worried about the potential for escalation, he added. Quote, they're worried about the impact on their lives, particularly when they see what's happening with the energy. The family, friends of those who are caught in the region, worried, sick, of course. We've got civilians and military personnel, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, this story I'm going to sum up as Keir Starmer crybaby because Trump said words. That's all that whole story is. Trump said, he's not Winston Churchill. And then Keir Starmer, they wrote a whole article. The Guardian wrote a whole article because Trump said he's not Winston Churchill, and Keir Starmer was acting like that dude in the chat. Not the good one, the other one. Yeah, somebody said, like, keep pushing through. I'm good. We're going to get this done. All right. Let's move on to 2A Thursday. 2A Thursday. Let's see here. Where is it? There we go. No, that's not the one. That's the one. Okay. We have Brandon Herrera is running for Texas 23, which is right up the street from me. I could literally drive 5 minutes down the road and be in his district, but because, like, districting maps make it look like Pac-Man. Like, so San Antonio looks like Pac-Man and the city right here. This is like District 35 or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, Texas 23 is surrounding my district. So I can go in 3 different directions, 5 minutes, and be in Brandon's district. I went up and met up with his campaign, I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I had him on the show. He was my last interview on my old platform before I came to LFA TV. So I think this was like Wednesday of last week or something like that. And I support Brandon. I think that he has integrity. I think he's going to do his job. But this is about 2A, right? 2A, Second Amendment. We need to put people in Congress that are pro Second Amendment, because anybody who's not pro Second Amendment is probably trying to, enslave you. Like, and I'm really not being hyperbolic. I'm saying the reason why anyone would not be pro Second Amendment is because they think the government should have more power over their people, and they should have the ability to control the people. And I don't want that type of government. I don't want a single person in Congress who believes that. That is disqualifying. Okay, so we have Brandon Herrera, who is clearly pro Second Amendment, right? I think we can see that from, there was this post. Hold on one sec. I thought I had it queued up, but I probably do over here. Yes, there we go. I did have it queued up. So, if you guys are looking at the screen, this is Brandon Herrera just shooting everything. There he is on a Tesla that he made look like a Halo car. I have one of those. Oh, that's right behind me. That's a custom 50 cal AK hybrid that he made.
Drop it.
Okay, so you get the point. Brandon Herrera is clearly pro Second Amendment, right? And that's not his only qualifier. Yes, I get it. He's a YouTuber, so maybe you shouldn't take him seriously. But he's actually very intelligent. He's a self-made businessman. He's very wealthy because he knows how to monetize his success. And he's also created other companies, etc. And he's also a really good guy. I've known a bunch of people that know him. I never heard a bad word about him. Everybody that I've ever known has been like, he's the greatest guy. Then I went and met him in person. Such a nice guy. Then he came on my podcast. He's a genuine guy. He also is not taking any money from any special interests, which is always good to know. And now let's contrast him with Tony Gonzalez, who, there we go. In 2022, Tony Gonzalez was the only House Republican to vote for S2938, the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the post-Uvalde gun control package backed by Biden and Cornyn. This is another reason why we should get Cornyn out. We want to get Paxton in. Paxton's pro 2A. Cornyn is a squishy rhino. But we want people like Herrera. We want people like Paxton, right? We don't want people like Tony Gonzalez. Look, I'm going to get to the Tony Gonzalez scandal. You guys saw a little preview of that. But I don't care about the scandal as much as I do about the fact that, about this. I care more about this, that Tony Gonzalez voted to take away your Second Amendment rights, than I do that he cheated on his wife and the girl that he cheated with was a crazy person who set herself on fire. I'm sorry. I care more about this because, again, I don't work in the emotional world of politics where I have feelings about these people. These are +1, -1. Tony Gonzalez, it is disqualifying to vote for this. I don't care why he did it. Disqualifying. He should have been ran out of Congress the second he did this. The Texas GOP's censure resolution explicitly flags the vote, saying the bill subsidizes red flag laws imposes additional restrictions on otherwise legal owners of firearms, and expands background checks. Absolutely not. Red flag laws. If you guys don't understand what red flag laws are, we'll go full screen for this. A red flag laws is when anyone can just say, all right, you see behind me, right, are guns, right? Somebody who follows me, who doesn't like me, may just take one of my videos out of context, where like they might clip it to make it seem like I said something I didn't, right? They would send that into the FBI and they would go, this guy has guns, or they could even use AI. They could use AI to be like AI, saying that I said I was going to go shoot up a school or something, right? Like that's what they would do. They'd send that to the FBI. Then the FBI, under a red flag law, would come in, take all of my guns immediately, and then investigate. They would go, hey, you're a red flag, right? So we're just going to, just for the safety of the government, for the safety of the people, we're going to take away your Second Amendment right, but we'll give it back if we decide that the other person was lying. Absolutely. Hold on.
Max, can you earmuff it for me?
You guys ready? Absolutely fucking not. No. Zero. Ever. No red flag laws. I don't care whoever argues in favor of them, saying they could have prevented a school shooting if they diagnosed that kid schizophrenic. No. You diagnose people schizophrenic then, right? Like you don't take away their guns until a person is diagnosed. No, right? Because I am actually for some, look, I as a 2A constitutionalist, I don't think that there's any real legal restriction that you can't infringe upon somebody's ability to bear arms, right? But I do believe that if you break laws, you forfeit certain rights. If you have certain conditions, you forfeit certain rights, right? I've even gone as far as to say, maybe we should have a question on the firearms form that says, do you have a mental illness? Okay. And if the person goes, no, I don't. And then let's say that person is dressed as a woman, but their license says I'm a man. I think the person behind the counter should be like, yeah, you actually do. You do have a mental illness. It's called gender dysphoria. And no, you can't have a gun. Right? Sorry. We've seen too many. We've seen too many, Transformers go, full, what's the word? It's Decepticon. But anyway, like I was saying, this was disqualifying when it happened. It has been disqualifying ever since, and Tony Gonzalez needed to leave Congress. Before that, in March 2021, he also voted against 2 House Democrat gun control expanded background check bills, and he was being framed a proud supporter of the Second Amendment who would oppose gun grabs from the far left. So what changed? Right? What changed? Something changed. You either are pro 2A or you aren't pro 2A. The squishiness of politicians 99% of the time can be explained by special interests, right? And look, I will hold Brandon Herrera's feet to the fire. If he goes in there and he does something like this, I would be just as angry as him. I don't care if I know him. I don't care about that. After backlash, he repeatedly said he would vote for the Safer Community Act again today and twice on Sunday. So he doubled down. Okay, bye. Arguing that it would have prevented Uvalde and increased checks on Jews. Yeah, that you don't take away people's rights because it would have prevented a crime. You don't take away people's Second Amendment right because it would have prevented one specific crime. And here's why. DGUs, right? Defensive gun usage. I don't know why I didn't say that right earlier. I do know. My brain's broken right now. But gun homicides claim around 18,000 lives annually in the U.S., right? Defensive gun usage, right, which is brandishing, drawing, stopping, or even taking life in a defensive manner with a firearm, are estimated from 60,000 to over 2 million. I don't know why that gap is so big. Let's just split the baby and call it 1 million, right? Let's call it 1 million, right? There are way more people. Way more are saved by a gun than killed by a gun. Insanely more. So you don't take away people's Second Amendment right because it would have prevented one bad thing from happening. That's stupid. So, look at the statistics here. Gun homicides, 17 to 19,000. DGU, see table for range. Okay. DGU estimate source. Government survey, CDC and state survey, CLEC survey, aggregated average. Oh, aggregated average is actually 1.8 million. Oh, okay. So wait, no, you got to get rid of this one. This government survey that says 60,000 to 120,000, bullshit. Let's go with the CDC CLEC survey, aggregated average. Yeah, I'd say using the aggregated average is actually pretty good. So you have 1.8 million, right? Defensive gun usages. That includes non-fatal brandishing, which is most cases, unlike homicides, which are always fatal. Critics argue high DGU figures overstate due to self-reporting biases. No. While low-end NCVS misses non-crime event. Whatever. You know what? Critics are going to say what critics are going to say. But either way, it's more than clear that more people are saved by guns based on that one statistic. So you don't take away people's guns just because. It's also a statistic that red districts have lower crime rates because the criminals aren't the only ones with guns. Wherever there's a high crime rate, high homicide rate, it's always in a place that has very strict gun laws. Because when you take away law-abiding citizens' right to defend themselves, the criminals don't care about the law that you created to do that. They're criminals. All right, we're going to wrap this up with this little interview here because I do want to spend a small amount of time. Like I said, I care way more about his voting record. I care way more about the fact that he voted with the squad. I care about that more. But Tony Gonzalez also is a huge piece of shit, and you should get the word out for Brandon Herrera regardless. But here's him on Joe Pags talking about this affair that he had. And it's funny, he waited until the day after the primary race to talk about this because, you know, he was trying to pretend like it didn't happen, but now the cat's out of the bag. All right, so let's see.
A relationship with this young lady who was working in your office?
You know, very, very direct, Pags. I made a mistake, and I had a lapse in judgment, and there was a lack of faith, and I take full responsibility for those actions. Since then, I've reconciled with my wife, Angel. I've asked God to forgive me, which he has, and my faith is as strong as ever. When you make mistakes like this, you know, it's never easy. It humbles you, but it's important to kind of work through it all. You know, I look forward to the ethics committee starting an investigation. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to provide all the facts and all the details that lead to exactly what occurred in the entire situation.
It's the first time we've heard you respond to that. And it's none of my business what you do behind closed doors. It's none of anybody's business what you do, other than you're in a unique situation as a U.S. representative. And you're also in the unique situation that you were the boss of Regina Santos Avalos. That puts a different dynamic in it. You're a military guy. You're a Navy guy. In fact, you're the highest ranked ever officer from the Navy to serve in the House of Representatives. I mean, higher ranked than Tim Walz, who claimed that he was the highest ranked. He wasn't. That said, do you understand the questions about a boss and a subordinate, somebody who has power and somebody who doesn't have power, and why that's such a big problem for people?
It's an important issue. No, it's important. It's a serious issue that we have to talk about, that we have to get all the facts and all the details out there. And once again, I take responsibility for my actions. It's all
right, so there it is. Just gonna say thank you in the chat to everybody, saying thank you. Get well soon. Yeah, I'm gonna go to work today though. I gotta tough it out. I got big jobs. Let's do some shout outs though. AP4 Liberty rated the stream. Thank you, AP4. Let's get a Kit Kat Mar. We got this one's moving quick. So we got CC Jack. We got Belinda Holland. I think I said that right. Belindalen. I think that's right. Kimberly K. P Year Out. All right. We got Darth Duckling. Love that. Mel Sandman. Papa Lee. Funmon. HR Shaw. Cat Lady Kim. Conservative Cadet. Amanda Collins. Great show. Thank you for everything. Get well soon. Thank you, Amanda. John Yoder. T. Mitchell. Watch Woman on the. Can't see further than that. All right. Yeah, guys, I'll be here tomorrow for Fan Mail Friday, and emphasis on fan. Those are my real fans. My haters are my real fans. And Sean is coming up next on Ungoverned. But I forgot to tell you guys yesterday, not every Wednesday. We try to do it every Wednesday. But we have on my other channel the weekly breakdown. So we got the daily breakdown every day. But on Wednesday evenings at 8:30 on my other channel, we do have the weekly breakdown, which we try to do every week. And if you can catch that, that'll be great. But I gotta go because he's coming up now. All right. So I guess bye.
A partially valid, a half-truth, if you will, is being pushed.
I can't wait to find out all sorts of new and exciting things I didn't know about myself.
So you just hate Jews, bro?
Yeah, you're just an anti-Semite. Congratulations.
You're
Go
not
join.
What would you say?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
that just we are the only society on earth who has the obligation to self-destruct, to blame ourselves for every problem that has ever existed, and we just think of ourselves as the worst human beings who are responsible for every bad.
How many Muslims are trying to stop Boko Haram? How many Muslims were confronting ISIS? How many Muslims, the extremists always win. So the peaceful majority, which